Back to that, you have said competence, but let me move to Mr. Akonji. You are of the Initiative for Equal Rights. What does that body do?
Basically,
Let's start from there.
It's to create equal level of opportunity, not just equality and equity to all humans, irrespective of their gender or sex. In this case, we are talking about women in politics, and we can't divorce the issue of women in politics from the patriarchal society we tend to find ourselves. We live in a society where it is generally believed that women cannot make decisions for themselves. So they are like the children that the men should make decisions for. You need to look at it even from the family setting itself, where if the first child is a woman and the last child of the family it's the only boy, everybody tends to believe that the head of the family is the boy. So you cannot divorce what happens in the larger society from what happens within the political space itself. And apart from that, apart from the patriarchal society we tend to find ourselves, we also need to look at even the public perception about policy and politics itself. It's more like they are there, we are here. And that's why you see at the bottom is heavy. She just cited the example of canvassers at the world level. It's heavy because we tend to believe that it is at the bottom we can get whatever we need. We don't care when they go up there, they don't give us anything. So those skewness in our perception, first of all, about women and our perception about governance affect women in terms of participation in politics.
Okay, let's bring Mr. Binyami. You're a women's advocate. The question will be, why do you think there's this well, for lack of a better word to describe it, negative perception about women coming into politics? I mean, there are those who say the woman's place.
It's in the kitchen.
I said there are those who will say.
Yeah, I'm just completing the sentence for you.
So why this negative perception? Because there are women out there who are striving to make a way in the political sphere of Nigeria, but it's as if with every effort they make, they are pushed back like 3 steps.
First of all, thanks for that question. It's really, really good. And it's a question I've actually asked myself before I got involved in, I would say, politics. But basically, it's about women advancement. Why? In 1995, at the 4th UN Women's Conference, there was a lot of talk.
Beijing?
Yes, Beijing. 1995. That's 20 years ago. There was a lot of talk about education, what matters to women. This is global. So I wouldn't say it's just Nigeria, it's global. It's just that Nigeria has gone slower. 20 years on, we're still talking about the same issues. And there were about six strategies that were agreed upon to education, research, and data improvement. We talked about financing, talked about training and empowerment in the grassroots. We're talking about the grassroots. But we haven't moved on. Why haven't we moved on? For Nigeria, I'll talk about Nigeria. I think it's a culture thing. Like you rightly said, eloquently said, we're socialized within our own private environment that men are the leaders and the women follow. Which to an extent you can agree that in your house, the man is the head of the family. There's got to be a head. But when you come out of there, where a woman wants to move on, needs the support of her husband, needs the finance, when you move on, then it's a level playing field. If you're in a boardroom and there's a chair and the vice chair and members of the board, it's equal. You all talk, you all say what you feel. In the house, it's different. However, in Nigeria, I feel that the culture makes us look, step back and like, oh, before I say anything, I better take permission. Oh, if I say so, if I'm vocal, I will be reprimanded, or they'll look at me as if, what's wrong with you? Stay in one place. And
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. But many men will also be the first ones to tell you that my wife makes all the decision at home. I am the head of the home, but I let her take a lot of the decisions at home.
Absolutely, privately, in the home.
Not in
private,
front of their friends.
in the home.
Okay.
Will a man be outside in public while a woman tells him off? It's like
No, she wouldn't dare.
she wouldn't dare do that. She wouldn't say anything like that. But in the privacy of your own home, absolutely, all presidents need solid first
Strong
ladies.
women.
Because when you go home after a hard day, stressful day, you go home, who do you talk to? The woman. Who do you ask? Who do you pick? Whose brain do you pick? You pick your wife, and guess what? President blah, blah, blah said, oh, honey, why don't you? They listen. Men actually do, husbands actually listen to
But
the
is that not
woman.
why some will say, don't let them out there? It's better they are here and be the listening one.
Oh, absolutely not. You need the woman. For me,
Constrain them.
Because conventionally, women are the nurturers, the carers. They are more likely to be involved in education for their children, health, which is a passion for me, healthcare. They're the ones that will push for it and say, hey, this is what we need. So the woman, right now as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, why isn't there a woman who is already in politics at a high level sitting here with us? Why isn't that happening?
I beg your pardon. Now that you raised that, we did try to get one, in fact, who had committed to coming this morning, but unfortunately, issues of rally, last minute, noise out there to try and, get together some votes, and she cancelled that she couldn't make it this morning. Okay. So with a lot of others, Saturday morning is not a good time for a woman in politics because she's out there politicking.
And that's a shame because you know what? You're politically into the people who are already going to vote for you anyway when it comes to the rallies. It's the faithful that are following you right now. When you come to a forum like this, you're addressing millions of women who are in the home. They've had a long week, busy. They're sitting down there, they've tuned in on the TV, and they're listening to you and making up their minds and saying, you know what? He's saying a lot of sense. I never thought of it like that. Oh, really? Because she's in it. She's able to tell you. I can't tell you what happens in the House of Reps or in the Senate. I can't tell you what happens in the President's cabinet. I can't. But I can tell you where people that I've talked to, other women that want to get into it to affect. Why do women want to be in politics? To affect the quality of public policy. We want to be involved. And I believe there's high and there's low politics. Low politics, fine, the soft issues and all that. High politics where the decision is being made.
Okay,
and we need to be there.
The question will now be, right now there are some